feel like this is something that only somebody with like chronic health issues could really understand. But I've been feeling a little bit better. And there's like two things to that are kind of weird. That even though I've been in this reality for quite a while now, I still am always kind of like, huh. And that's that when I say I feel better, I'm like worried that people are going to think that means I'm not unwell anymore, when it just means that like I'm having a good day or I've had a good couple of days. Not that I'm like whatever. My mouth doesn't want to do the shape of that. I'm not like just better, like perfect health and stuff. I just, and then, that feeling better for more than like a day or two, where it starts to become a pattern, scares me. Because I don't want to get used to it, because I know it's not going to last, and when people are like, oh, don't be negative, blah, blah, yeah, shut up. That's not how reality works. So, it's like I try to hold on to sort of this awareness of the fact that I can and will flare, so that when it happens, it doesn't destroy my mental health as much, because it's hard, right? When you go from feeling better and being able to do more, getting a taste of being yourself in a way that you often cannot be, and then having it taken away from you again, it's hard. And it's, one of the things that has been consistent for me in my life is that hope is like the most painful thing. It just makes everything so much worse. And I try really hard not to do it. I try to just stay focused on the things that I need to do and accept what is, right? Because the things that I would hope for are just highly improbable. At this point, when I was younger, there were things I hoped for that I worked towards, and my life has just always tried to undermine me. So it's really just been a lot of disappointment and frustration, where I work really, really hard on things and shit happens that's like outside my control. Like I had a job I loved, worked really hard at it, to the point that my manager was like, no, you're gonna take some time off, and you're not gonna use your vacation time, just comp time, just go have a day, but I loved my job, so I was very happy to be there. And right before I was supposed to vest, so the 2-year mark, they laid me off. It had nothing to do with my performance. As a matter of fact, I was the only person that knew how to do what I was doing, and so the people that I worked with, that I supported, were like pissed and at a loss, because they didn't have anyone that really saw all the different pieces of what these different projects were doing. They were like different projects that the end result was one product, right? But they all had like overview on their part and not the bigger picture, and part of what I was doing was the bigger picture. Anyway, so it's stuff like that, and yeah, I just told you that whole story because people will be like, well, you just didn't try hard enough, or you didn't blah blah blah. Some people have opportunities available to them because they're born into the right social circles, or they whatever, or they have a family that's supportive or whatever. But when you don't have those things, and you don't have the safety net, you don't have a supportive family, and you don't have money and stuff, the opportunities aren't there to the same extent. And then sometimes when they are there, you either don't know how to act on them, or you end up in a position where you can't act on them, because it requires investment, or whatever. So it's, I did a lot in my life for how little I had. I just was working towards having stability, and with the idea that when I got to this age, I would be out having fun since I had my son so early, and I didn't get to do that. I got sick right around the time that my son started to be independent enough that I felt like I could let go a little bit and focus on myself, and my body just went right. So I'm still working really hard. It's just now on me and my health, and trying to navigate a medical system that literally just doesn't feel like they want to help me, and doing my best. And when I have days when I can do stuff, and when it starts to be like a couple of days in a row, and then it's like a week, and some of my old patterns are there. Like when I feel better, I sleep less, and my sleep gets really weird. Like, and that's how I was before my health issues. I always had really short sleep, and it was like really late. Like the sun would come up, and that's when I would fall asleep. Like today, the sun was fully up, garbage truck was doing his thing, and then I fell asleep, and I slept like super deep until like my alarm went off at 10:30. I had a doctor's appointment, and you know, I got the dark rings, which I kind of have anyway all the time, but otherwise I feel fine, and I'll probably go to bed at 4 in the morning tonight, and I won't, you know, feel any more tired or whatever. It's just what happens when I feel a little better. So I'm just trying to pace, because I still need to pace. Like yesterday I was really tired because I did too much the day before, and just do as much as I can and enjoy it, and try not to, you know, worry too much, while at the same time holding the reality that things will probably get worse again, right? I'm sorry that my phone keeps doing that. This phone, I've tried every setting, and it's trying to compensate for backlight, and it won't fucking stop. My previous phone didn't do it, and it makes me so angry. I just try not to look at my screen. Honestly, it's kind of like when I was riding a motorcycle, which was most of my life. There's the saying, this mindset, it's not if, it's when, for crashing, which is the argument for wearing gear, wearing helmet and jacket and boots and all of that. Because it's true, you know, like every motorcyclist drops their motorcycle at least once. If they're lucky, it's mild and whatever, but you know, prevention is survival. And that mindset, you know, it's like you just kind of hold it there, and it helps keep you a little bit safer. And with the health stuff, it's not, you know, obviously it doesn't translate to safety in the same way, but it is protective, you know, because stupid phone. Because when things, it's so distracting. When things get bad, you know, it's emotionally very difficult, but there's also, you know, like the nervous system getting inflamed and stuff also creates emotional issues, you know, like these really deep depressions and stuff that's not just like, I feel sad. It's, you know, the body being like, "Rrr." So just being prepared so that I can survive that. I mean, the number one cause of not being alive for people with chronic fatigue syndrome is relapse because of unaliving. So, you know, and it's, yeah, I realized recently that my quality of life was such that if I found out I had cancer and required chemo, I'm not sure I would do the chemo, because doing the chemo would keep me alive, and then I would go back to my current life, but with all the side effects of chemo. You know, like so there's, yeah, I feel like I have to be careful.